Jeopardy! And now, here is your host, Kevin J. Callis.
Thank you very much, Johnny Armbar, for that kind introduction. And welcome back to Wrestling Jeopardy, the only game show where knowing who managed Atom Bomb is considered a useful life skill.
Manager Johnny Polo. Nice looking lid you're wearing there, pal.
Thank you very little.
What?
All right, let's get right into it. There are 25 clues on the board, plus a daily double and a bonus question, and they come from these 5 categories. Beginning with unification matches, followed by our visual category of the week, brah, surfer dudes. Our third category is doing the voice. I will not be doing the voice. You will be doing the voice. Okay, maybe I'll be doing the voice just a little bit. Red, white, or blue. And our fifth category this week, chosen by you, the Mr. WrestleTrivia community. The 3 choices you had to choose from were King of the Ring in the 1980s, King of the Ring in the 1990s, or King of the Ring in the 2000s. And this victorious category basically said to all the other categories,
I just whipped your ass!
You're going to be quizzed on King of the Ring in the 1990s. And as always, we begin our game with the 200-point jobber round. 5 easy questions that you should hopefully squash like a jobber.
Uh-oh! My goodness!
All right, let's begin with the first clue from unification matches worth 200 points. He defeated Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 38 to unify the WWE Championship and the Universal Championship. Solidifying his status as the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, who is the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns. Moving on to our first visual clue, this one is worth 200 points. Name this surfer dude. Hailing from Venice Beach, California, this is Sting. All right, it's your turn to do the voice. This is going to be worth 200 points. Whenever it came time to lay down the law, Vince McMahon would yell this phrase in his famous growl. What is you're fired? Here comes our first red, white, or blue clue. This is worth 200 points. When WWE slapped Sheamus with this nickname, it was likely more in reference to his pale skin tone than to one of the ocean's most iconic predators. What is the Great White? And let's finish up the job around with this 200-point clue from King of the Ring in the 1990s. Triple H was supposed to win the 1996 King of the Ring, but was punished because of his involvement in this infamous incident. Everything was made up for as Trips got the win in 1997, 1 year after the infamous curtain call. We're jumping back across the board now, and here comes another clue from unification matches. This is worth 400 points. WCW United States Champion Edge squared off with this fellow Canadian and Intercontinental Champion to unify the 2 titles in 2001. Now, the 2001 Survivor Series was the culmination of the poorly booked Invasion angle. Nonetheless, Edge unified these 2 titles at that pay-per-view by defeating Test. All right, let's tackle another visual clue. This is worth 400 points. Name this surfer dude. Shaka Bra from Kona, Hawaii, who is Crush. Let's do it again. Doing the voice, worth 400 points. This word took on a life of its own when spoken by former APA badass Ron Simmons. What is damn? I can't even do it. What is damn?
Damn!
Damn!
That's it.
Let's bring on another red, white, or blue clue worth 400 points. Sami Zayn's sit-out crucifix powerbomb is called this. What is the blue thunder bomb? And we finish up the 400-point round with this King of the Ring 1990s clue. He is the only two-time King of the Ring, winning both the 1991 and 1993 tournaments. He is the excellence of execution. Who is Bret the Hitman Hart? All right, 10 questions down, 15 to go, plus the daily double, a bonus question, and final Jeopardy.
I precious that. I pressure that. I precious that. I regard that more than life. I'm so excited. I can't even talk.
I can tell it.
Let's begin the 600-point round with another clue from unification matches. In 2006, the Pure Championship that belonged to Nigel McGuinness was unified with this promotion's world title that was held at the time by Bryan Danielson. At an event aptly titled Unified, the most famous or perhaps infamous of their battles occurred inside a Ring of Honor ring. All right, let's check out another visual clue. This one is worth 600 points. Name this surfer dude. Before he was a cigarette-smoking, beer-swilling hardcore icon, he was winning the ECW title in a wetsuit. Who is the Sandman? And we've reached the halfway point of the game now. Here comes another clue from Doing the Voice, worth 600 points. When these three little words blasted through arena speakers, fans would jump to their feet to cheer on the Legion of Doom. What is What Rush? Here comes another clue from Red, White, or Blue, worth 600 points. TNA had some amazing talent in the X division, and one of the standouts was this indie legend. Who is Amazing Red? And let's finish up the 600-point round with this clue from King of the Ring in the 1990s. All right, it's time for the showstopper. Will you bet it all and make this a true daily double? Well, let's find out. The category once again is King of the Ring in the 1990s. Place your wager now. All right, time's up. Here's the clue. At the 1996 tournament, Stone Cold Steve Austin was sent to the hospital to get his split lip stitched up after his semifinal bout against this superstar. To be honest, if Mark Marrow doesn't kick Stone Cold in the mouth, then Austin 316 might not have ever happened. All right, let's kick off the 800-point round with another clue from unification matches. At this 1988 pay-per-view, Jerry Lawler defeated Kerry Von Erich to unify the AWA and World Class World Heavyweight Championships. What is Super Clash 3? Here comes another visual clue. This is worth 800 points. Name these surfer dudes. From the City of Sunshine, that's Johnny Ace and Shane Douglas, aka the Dynamic Dudes. Get those impressions ready again for another clue from Doing the Voice. This is worth 800 points. In an interview with Mean Gene Okerlund, Randy Savage pulled out multiple coffee creamers to use as a metaphor for this line. And that was when the Macho Man said, "I am the cream of the crop." On to another red, white, or blue clue. This is worth 800 points. Jim Ross tried his best to get this nickname over for The Undertaker. Good old JR dug deep into his knowledge of college football and pulled out the nickname Booger Red, which was a reference to Tommy Nobis, a red-headed linebacker from the University of Texas. And it's time to close out the 800-point round with this clue from King of the Ring in the 1990s. 3 out of the 4 semi-finalists in 1999 were members of this faction. Eventually won by Billy Gunn, the correct answer is D-Generation X, as both the Road Dogg and X-Pac were also in the Final Four.
But my name's Billy. It doesn't matter what your name is.
And we've reached the most difficult round in Wrestling Jeopardy. This is the main event, 5 1,000-point questions that are guaranteed to put your wrestling knowledge really to the test.
Biatch.
Kicking things off with the final clue from unification matches worth 1,000 points. Shinsuke Nakamura beat this WWE Hall of Famer to unify the IWGP Heavyweight Championship in 2008. A dream match of epic proportions. It's true. It's damn true. Who is Kurt Angle? Time now for the final visual clue. This is worth 1,000 points. Good luck naming this surfer dude. Known for his time in Herb Abrams' Universal Wrestling Federation in the early 1990s, who is the Wild Thing? Steve Ray. Ooh, you might have a big chunk of change now that you can really make a mark here with this bonus question. How it works, you don't have to wager anything. All you have to do is answer this question correctly and you will double your score. In 1991, UWF founder Herb Abrams paid this wrestler an extra $100 to break Steve Ray's nose in a match. The ensuing shoot turned into a threatening situation for the Wild Thing, but to this day, questions remain about whether it was all a work. That being said, the correct answer is Dr. Death, Steve Williams. All right, it's time for you to make me proud with this final Doing the Voice clue, and it's worth 1,000 points. Give us your best Dusty Rhodes from his Hard Times promo and say these self-deprecating lines about how he doesn't quite look like the athlete of today is supposed to look. I would have accepted 2 possible answers here. What is, my belly is just a little big, or my hiney is a little big? Here comes the final red, white, or blue clue, worth 1,000 points. Owen Hart made his WWF debut in 1988, not as the Blue Blazer, but as the Blue what? Also rocking a hideous looking mask, by the way. Originally, Owen was named the Blue Angel. Don't go anywhere. Final Jeopardy is up next. Let's close out the board with this final clue worth 1,000 points. And it's from King of the Ring in the 1990s. King of the Ring winners never got a belt to go with their crown, so he had his own one made. Considering the prestige of the throne, it's odd that a commemorative belt was never made. However, King Mabel was a shrewd entrepreneur and created one for himself to use during his post-WWE career. All right, 26 clues are down. Only one separates you from becoming the undisputed Wrestling Jeopardy champion. Let's find out what this episode's Final Jeopardy category is. Wrestling Bios. All right, time is up. Here is your multiple choice final Jeopardy clue. The content creator behind the acclaimed Wrestling Bios YouTube channel hails from what United Kingdom country? Is it A, England, B, Ireland, C, Northern Ireland, or D, Wales? You have 15 seconds. Good luck. Now, before I reveal the final Jeopardy answer, shout out to these folks who are members of the IWC, the Inside WrestleTrivia Club. They support the channel with their time, talent, and treasure, and you can too. All you gotta do is click on the join button below or the link in the description. Known for taking deep dives into notoriously bad storylines, pay-per-view disasters, and bizarre gimmicks from wrestling history, not to mention his monumental multi-year project called Reliving the War, Wrestling Bios balances a strong work ethic with a dry, witty sense of humor and a distinct accent straight out of Belfast. The correct answer is C, Northern Ireland. Thanks again so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.